Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. So today we are continuing with my Lego Infinity Saga video game series. It's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. And in this episode of the series here, we are talking about some more DLC packs. Now, if you saw the last video, the last Marvel, I don't remember what it was. It was the last Lego Infinity Saga video game video. Then you'll know what I did was I made DLC packs based off the Disney Plus shows of 2021. Well, believe it or not, She-Hulk just ended, like a couple days ago, like 3 days ago at the time of this recording. So that means it's time to talk about all the Disney Plus shows and special Werewolf by Night. I include Werewolf by Night in here because I love Werewolf by Night. What a great special. Favorite thing from Marvel this year. I include that in here because we're talking about all the 2022 Disney Plus shows, plus, again, that special. And we're making level ideas, and we're doing characters per DLC pack, just like I did with the other video. So, yeah, that's what we're getting into today. So we have four projects that came out for Disney Plus this year for Marvel, and that is, whoops, sorry, just hit something. That is Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Werewolf by Night. So we're going to go through. I'm going to talk about all the characters that will be included in each pack, as well as going through the level of each pack, which is based off the final episode of each show. Yeah, that makes sense. The final episode of each show. So I'm very excited to get into it. Let's get going now because I'm very, very excited to get into this stuff here. And we are starting with Moon Knight, which came out first. All right, so starting with Moon Knight. Of course, this is we're going to start with the characters of the Moon Knight pack. Oh, actually, I always forget to do the rules here. If you don't know what this video is, this is the first one you've watched, go watch the other ones because that'll probably get you more in tune with how this works here. But basically, I go through all the Marvel phases, all the Marvel projects, and make levels out of them, and make Lego levels out of them, and design them and stuff like that, and talk about them on videos like the one you're watching now. And I basically go through. And every level that I that I make something out of, each has 3 parts. And with these newer videos here, this newer style that I'm doing with the Disney Plus shows, I also treat it like a DLC pack, to where you're going to be getting characters and you're also going to be getting a full-blown level. So, yeah, that's basically how this works. So right now I'm going to go through the characters of this level pack, which is the Moon Knight level pack. So as we kind of go through it, you'll probably start to figure it out. But basically, the first character you'll be getting in this Moon Knight pack is Mark Spector, of course, and he'll have the ability to turn into Moon Knight. So it's just going to be like the regular, like you'll start off, when you choose the character, you'll end up looking like the regular Oscar Isaac kind of look, the very casual look for Mark Spector, whatever kind of design he had in one of the episodes, whatever I end up deciding to choose. And you'll end up holding the Y button or triangle, whatever it is, whatever console you use, the character changing button to switch into Moon Knight. You have like a character animation that makes him switch into Moon Knight. I don't know exactly how it would work. Well, actually, I guess it would, because they do kind of show what the transformation from Mark Spector to Moon Knight looks like in the show. So it would just be, basically that transformation in Lego form, to where, Mark Spector, has the Moon Knight stuff kind of comes over and takes over Mark Spector's body, and then he comes into the Moon Knight suit. Yeah, so you have the ability to switch into Moon Knight. So you're kind of getting more than just 8 characters per level pack here. Considering you're able to get Mark Spector and Moon Knight. That's 2 characters in one. The next character you're going to be getting here is Stephen Grant, of course. Stephen Grant's going to have a very similar design because, of course, it's just going to be Oscar Isaac again. A regular casual Oscar Isaac look. Maybe to kind of make it a little bit different, Stephen Grant can be in the Asylum clothing from Episode 5. Where he's kind of going through the memories. He has kind of the Asylum clothing on. So maybe he could have that on, and then, you do the same thing. You hold the character changing button to have this cool animation where Stephen Grant gets his own, starts his own suit, and you'll be able to change into Mr. Knight. So the Mr. Knight suit, which was very cool, by the way. Love that suit. You'll be able to switch into that version of Stephen Grant. So you're basically getting 4 characters in 2 characters, which I think is pretty cool. Then the next character you'll be getting is Arthur Harrow, of course, the villain of the series, played by Ethan Hawke. He won't have any character switch or anything like that. He didn't really have his own suit. He's just kind of like a regular guy. But, he'll obviously have like his staff, his power staff. He'll be able to, shoot stuff, do a laser beam, whatever. Next character will be Khonshu, of course, the moon god, I believe, of Egypt, the Egyptian moon god. And he was obviously, the big hulking character, very tall character with the skull looking face there. And he'll also have his staff, he'll be able to fight and stuff like that. Then the next character is Amit. Of course, at the end of the series, episode 6, they have like the giant CGI Amit creature, character, goddess, whatever. And she'll also be included in this pack here. You can face off against Khonshu and stuff like that. And then the next character is Layla Al Fuli, I think is how you say her name. Of course, Layla, pretty prominent character in the series. So she'll obviously have her regular outfit, her regular just kind of casual look, casual design from the series. And then you'll also be able to hold the character switching button, and you'll be able to switch into the Scarlet Scarab, which is apparently what her comic kind of suit ended up being there. And this was the avatar of Tawedit, which was one of the goddess of oh no, is it the goddess of resurrection? I don't think that's true. No, it was a goddess of something. I don't remember exactly, but basically, Avatar of Tarwedit, and you get the Scarlet Scarab suit, and you'll be able to play as Layla in her Scarlet Scarab outfit, basically, and have all the abilities of the Scarlet Scarab. And then the next character you'll be getting in this pack is Jake Lockley. So again, this is just it's gonna be a pack of Oscar Isaacs. You're gonna be getting so many different Oscar Isaacs in this pack. And Jake Lockley will just have, again, his regular kind of casual outfit. We only see him very briefly in the end credits scene, but, he was still in the episode, still a really cool character to have. So he'll probably just end up having his handgun, and, just kind of have, like, that look and everything, like, with the hat and everything like that, and whatever he looked like in that end credits scene. And then there was one character, one spot I needed to fill in here, and I couldn't think of another character, so I decided to just go with Osiris, who is the one of the gods that that Mark Spector and Arthur Harrow have a trial, it seemed, with in I think it was episode 3 that happened. And we meet Osiris, and he obviously has very strong powers. He does die in the last episode. Spoilers if you haven't watched Moon Knight, but yeah, he'll be included in this pack as well. Just kind of like, because again, I couldn't really think of I couldn't see another character that I could really use here. I couldn't think of one, so I ended up just throwing him in here. But now we're going to talk about the level. So, of course, this is again based off of the final episode of Moon Knight, and it is called Gods and Monsters, which is the title of the episode. And part 1 of level 1, or this level here, is where you'll be playing as Khonshu, and you'll be playing as Mark Spector, and you'll be utilizing the... Actually, is this the... No. Yeah, so you'll be utilizing the Clone Wars hold character changing button, and you switch characters, switch settings kind of thing. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've played the game, other Lego video games have used this thing before. This I don't know, I don't want to say tactic, but whatever, they've used this before in other Lego games. Where you switch your character, you also switch where you are, and like the whole setting and different missions and stuff like that. So this will be utilized here. Again, you'll be playing as Khonshu on one side, and as Khonshu, you'll have a boss fight with Amit, because this is obviously based off the scene where Khonshu and Amit fight in the Egyptian temple. And then you also play on the other side as Mark Spector, where you're going to be in the Field of Reeds and the sands of the Sands of the After... I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. But like the Sands of the Afterlife, basically. And the objective as Mark Spector is you have to reach Stephen Grant in the sands. Because this is obviously based off of the beginning of episode 6, where Stephen Grant gets stuck left behind in the sands and ends up being frozen in the sands. And as Mark Spector, you have to go and run after him and save him. Before the doors can open, you can go back to the regular real world, basically. So yeah, you have to reach Steven. You have to get to Steven, who's in the sands, stuck in the sands. And then part 2, you'll be once again playing as actually the same characters here with the same mechanic used. On one side, you'll be playing as Khonshu, and actually you'll be fighting Ahmed again. So this is obviously now based off the point in the episode where Khonshu fights Amit outside, and fights Amit on the like Egyptian pyramids and stuff like that, and has to fight Amit. This whole level is basically all boss fights. Because those are so many there was basically all just fighting in that whole episode basically, where again Khonshu's fighting Amit and now he's like giant and stuff like that, and then you also be playing on Mark Spector, and on the other side you play as Mark Spector, and you'll have to fight Arthur Harrow. So you have a boss fight with Arthur Harrow, and then part 3 is when Layla comes in as the Scarlet Scarab and Mark Spector comes in his Moon Knight outfit, and the objective there is to also defeat Arthur Harrow. So this whole level is just a line of boss fights, basically, playing as Khonshu and Moon Knight, basically. It was really it, as well as Layla at the end there. So, that's basically the level for Moon Knight, and those are also the characters. That's the first pack. Now that we kind of gotten into it, you probably kind of understand how it's going to go, but now we still have the other 3 projects to talk about, which is very exciting. So, there you go. Those are the characters. That's the level. Let's get into the next one. So the next pack we are talking about is the Miss Marvel pack, which is the show that came out after Moon Knight. In the Miss Marvel pack, characters included are Kamala Khan, in just regular Kamala Khan look, regular just kind of clothing, stuff like that. And Kamala Khan will have the ability to switch into Miss Marvel, have a full-blown Miss Marvel suit. Very cool design. Obviously the suit based off the last episode of the series. So it'll be that suit. Then the next character included will be Bruno Corelli, who is obviously Kamala Khan's friend from the episode, from the series. And he'll just, I don't think he'll have any special abilities or anything in particular. He's not really a superhero, so not yet, I guess. He might be a superhero later on. I don't know. But just kind of regular Bruno included in this pack as well. And then we have Najma, who was basically the villain of Miss Marvel, sort of, kind of, a little bit. Kind of the villain of Miss Marvel, and Najma will be again included in this pack here, and then we have Kamran, who was also kind of like the villain of the last episode. I don't know, there was kind of a couple villains, but they weren't really villains though. They're just kind of like doing it for a cause, sort of. I don't know, but Kamran will be included in this pack regardless. And he'll have similar abilities, just like as shown in the end of the episode, in the last episode, towards the end of the episode, he has Miss Marvel abilities, basically, has Miss Marvel's abilities, just in like a teal blue, so he'll have that. Then the next character is Red Dagger, or also known as Kareem, and he'll be included in this pack. He's obviously from, was it episode 4, I think it was, where he was introduced, where they went to, where did they go though? I don't remember exactly where they went in that episode, but they went to another country, and that's where they found Red Dagger, and he'll be included in this pack here. Then we have Muniba Khan, who is Kamala Khan's mother. She'll be included in this pack. A lot of like kind of civilian characters here, because there wasn't really a lot of other superhero or superpowered characters in this show, which I appreciated. It was just kind of like more down-to-earth kind of show. So she'll be included in this pack here. Then we also have Yusuf Khan, who also is included in this pack, and he is Kamala Khan's father. I wonder if they'll be like, what I'm thinking for Yusuf to make him somewhat more unique is like if you hold down the character changing button, like what you would use to change Kamala into Miss Marvel, it would change Yusuf into like the Hulk, kind of. I think would be kind of cool, like his like painted Hulk version, because of course that was a pretty funny moment from the series. So why not try and represent that in Lego too? I think that'd be kind of cool, and then give him like super strength and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then the last character included is Nakia, and she was Kamala Khan's friend. And she'll be included in this pack as well. Again, a lot of like more civilian characters here, just because there wasn't too many superpowered individuals in this show, really. So the level here is called No Normal, which of course is the level, or the episode title of the last level. No, the level, wait a minute. The title of the last episode of the series, basically, is called No Normal. And part 1 of this level is, like the Nord dimension kind of part. And with this one, it was kind of tough to figure out or trying to get 3 parts out of the last episode, kind of, because there was just like so much that happened at once that it was kind of tough to get 3 parts out of it. So I had to kind of dip into episode 5 a little bit here, or the previous episode, to get this part. And this first part again is like the Nord Dimension, kind of talk about that part where you'll be playing as Kamala Khan in the Miss Marvel, or actually not in the Miss Marvel suit. She didn't have the Miss Marvel suit in this part. I don't believe. And you also be playing as Red Dagger, and the objective here is to have a boss fight with Najma, who in this part of the episode, spoilers for Miss Marvel, you haven't seen it, but that was probably expected considering this is a spoiler kind of video. In this part of the episode, Najma was trying to go after Miss Marvel's bangle because it would open a portal to the Nord Dimension, and they have a fight basically with like Najma's crew of people, and they have a giant like fight in this. I don't know actually, when did they have that fight? I don't remember exactly. I'd have to rewatch the show. I haven't rewatched this show in a while. I actually haven't rewatched. I want to try and get this video out as like soon as possible, considering She-Hulk just ended, so I didn't actually end up rewatching Moon Knight or rewatching Miss Marvel, or I guess Werewolf by Night. But Werewolf by Night was like a week ago anyway, so I remember it more. So I don't remember exactly everything that happens in this show, but basically the point is boss fight with Najma, and that's the first part. Second part is kind of like, now we're going into episode 6, the final episode here, and this is kind of like when the damage control kind of comes in. So again, you'll be playing as Kamala Khan, you'll be playing as Bruno, you'll be playing as Nakia, and you'll be playing as Kamran, and the objective is to set off all the traps for the damage control. So basically in the final episode, they have this Home Alone style kind of traps around the school trying to stop damage control from getting Kamran and Miss Marvel and stuff like that. And the whole crew here sets up a bunch of traps around the school that set off and take down damage control basically in the school. And again, it was very Home Alone like. It was very cool, very cool. And then part 3, final part, is the final part basically of the episode, sort of, where we have, you play as Kamala Khan again, you play as Yusuf Khan and Muniba Khan, because I basically couldn't think of any other characters to really include in here, considering it was mostly between Kamala Khan and Kamran, who's basically the objective here is to defeat Kamran, because Kamran now has the powers of Miss Marvel, and is kind of like using them to try and fight people, but not a great idea. So Kamala Khan tries to save him instead in the final part of the episode. And again, it was mostly a moment between Kamala and Kamran. So it was very tough to find another like extra character to play as here, but we went with Yusuf Khan and Muniba Khan as the other 2 characters to play as here. So you play as most of the characters except for Najma in the entire pack in just this one level, which is pretty cool. So anyways, there you go. That's the final part. You defeat Kamran, and that's the end of the level there. But that's the Miss Marvel pack there. Now we'll move on to we'll do the Werewolf by Night pack next. So next up, we have the Werewolf by Night pack. What a awesome piece of content from Marvel. This was easily the best piece of content from Marvel this year, I think, in my opinion. Loved it. Loved Werewolf by Night. So cool. I can't wait to talk about this. I'm ready. I'm very, very excited. So let's get into the characters here. We're starting off. We have Jack Russell, of course, kind of like somewhat of our main character. I actually thought Elsa Bloodstone was more prominent in the episode, but he was still a main character, sort of. And he'll have the ability to turn into the Werewolf by Night, of course, which was, oh my god, it was awesome at the end of the special when he turned into the werewolf. It was so cool. But yeah, so you gotta have like regular Jack Russell, regular kind of outfit, regular clothing, and then you hold the character changing button to kind of like switch and morph into the Werewolf by Night, which was just, what an incredible scene. And then the next character is Elsa Bloodstone, of course, basically our co-main character here. Very, very cool character. And she'll be included in this. You also have Veruza Bloodstone, who is the villain of the special here, the villain of the somewhat of a movie, like a little hour-long special movie here. And she's the villain, and she'll have the abilities of the Bloodstone and stuff like that to use. You have Azrael, who is one of the hunters, one of the monster hunters. You have Joshua Joven, who's another one of the hunters. Barrasso and Leorn, who are two separate characters, by the way, and they are both more of the hunters. And the final character included is Man-Thing, who stole the show, loved Man-Thing, loved Ted, who's his main name. His in the special that they use, they just call him Ted. They didn't really call him Man-Thing. But he was awesome. Loved Man-Thing in this episode, or this special movie, whatever. And the level, of course, is called Werewolf by Night, because that's what it's called. And part 1 of the level here is The Hunt Begins, and this is where you play as Jack Russell and Elsa Bloodstone. And the objective here is to defeat Joshua Joven, because there's like this small fight scene that happens towards the beginning of this movie, or special rather, where Joshua Joven attacks Jack Russell and Elsa Bloodstone, and why not turn that into a little boss fight here. And by the way, this whole level will be in black and white, like the characters will be in their black and white look. So a little less color, but still very cool characters to have. But yeah, so Jack Russell, Elsa Bloodstone are going to be fighting Joshua Joven in this first part. Then part 2 is Saving the Monster, where I will be utilizing the Lego Star Wars, the Clone Wars, switch characters, switch settings kind of thing that I always talk about here. Again, I gotta find a name for that. And this is the Saving the Monster part, where on one side you'll be playing as Jack Russell, trying to set up explosives on the stone wall, and then on the other side, you'll be playing as Elsa Bloodstone and Man-Thing, and the objective here is to run through the gardens to find Jack Russell. So again, on one side, you'll play as Jack Russell, you'll be setting up explosives, you'll probably be like knocking some, or destroying some things and building different things to set up explosives on the wall, and then with Elsa Bloodstone and Man-Thing, you'll be running through the gardens and like going through obstacles and stuff like that to try and make your way to Jack Russell, and that'll obviously then start the cutscene. Then part 3 is called The Real Monster, where you'll be playing as Werewolf by Night on one side, again utilizing that same oh my god, I'm trying to find the word, I can't think of the word, but utilizing the same Lego Star Wars, the Clone Wars thing. You'll be, again, on one side as Werewolf by Night, and the objective as Werewolf by Night is to defeat Veruza Bloodstone. And on the other side, you'll be playing as Elsa Bloodstone, and the objective there is to defeat Azrael and Barrasso, so kind of a double boss fight there for Elsa Bloodstone. And then again, on the other side, you'll have a boss fight with Veruza Bloodstone. And there you have it. That's the entire level. That's all the characters there. But again, really love this special. Absolutely love Werewolf by Night. It was incredible. And I would actually genuinely love to see this as a real DLC pack in hopefully an upcoming Marvel game. But we'll have to see later on. Now for the final project that came out in 2022 for Disney Plus is She-Hulk. Not a fan of She-Hulk, by the way. I don't know. Didn't like it. I don't think a lot of people really liked it. I especially didn't like it. But I still obviously made a pack of it, and I still watched it all. I did like the Daredevil stuff a little bit. Some Daredevil stuff. I don't know. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. But anyways, again, still made a pack out of it. And still watched it all to make this pack and stuff like that. So, starting off first, here we go. First character is Jennifer Walters. She'll have the ability to turn into She-Hulk, of course, with the regular, like, the She-Hulk actual superhero outfit. Then the next character is Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner from his, like, design from the series. And then he'll also have the ability to turn to the Hulk, of course. Then we have Emil Blonsky, who can turn to Abomination. So a lot of characters who can turn into other characters. Then we have Matt Murdock, of course, like regular actual Matt Murdock, and he'll have the ability to turn to Daredevil in the yellow and red suit. We have Titania, who won't be able to turn to any other character, because Titania just doesn't really turn to anybody else, but was kind of a prominent character in the series, unfortunately. She was not the best character. Then we have Todd Phelps, who is Hulk King. He'll have the ability to turn into like his actual Hulk form. He was also pretty annoying. We got Wong, who was pretty cool. Wong was pretty good in this show, to be honest with you. But he'll be, his design from the series and stuff like that. And then the final character is Nikki Ramos, who is Jennifer Walters' friend. Then the level is called Whose Show Is This? Of course, same title of the final episode of She-Hulk, episode 9. And part 1 is based off of episode 8, considering the episodes were only 35 or 30 minutes each, a little less than that, I think. So it was even more difficult to find 3 parts in 30 minutes. So I had to kind of dip into another episode, and in this case, I dipped into the end of episode 8, and that was the Attorney Gala, where you'll be playing as She-Hulk, and you'll also be playing as Nikki. And the objective there is to chase after the intelligentsia members throughout the the theater building that they had for the Attorney Gala. So you'll basically start out in the main room, basically the main area, and you have to find a way out and try and find a way to break down the door, get out of there to chase after the intelligentsia member, and then you'll be outside now after you break down the door. You'll be outside, and you'll still be trying to like find the intelligentsia member outside and stuff like that. Then part 2 is the Hulks, where you'll be playing as She-Hulk on one side. This will be utilizing the the Lego Star Wars switch character, switch setting thing, because of course I've been using that like this whole video at this point. And again, you'll be playing as She-Hulk on one side, and the objective there is to defeat Todd Phelps as Hulk King. So you have a boss fight with Todd. Then on the other side, you'll be playing as Hulk, and you'll have a boss fight with Abomination. So that'll be kind of fun though, kind of a fun part of the level here. You'll have just basically Hulks fighting different kinds of Hulks. And just full Hulk boss fights and stuff like that, which would be fun. And then part 3 is the spoilers for She-Hulk, if you haven't seen it, first off. But also I've been spoiling the whole thing so far. But anyways, the part 3 here is the Kevin part, which is the Kevin Feige kind of part, where he's kind of like the main villain of the show, sort of. I don't know, a very weird, bad show. But in this part, you'll be playing as She-Hulk, and you'll also be playing as Daredevil, just because Daredevil's cool, and there was also no other character that could really be like a co-op character to play as here. So Daredevil will just be the character to fill in here, and the objective here is to fight through Marvel Studios to reach Kevin Feige, basically. So you'll be kind of going through, traversing Marvel Studios, fighting off against the Marvel Studios security, and you'll have to find a way to reach Kevin Feige. But yeah, that's basically what happens there. I don't really want to talk about the show anymore, any longer than I have to, so I'm going to stop there. So there you go, another entry into this series. I do enjoy this series. I mean, I wasn't too crazy of a fan of most of the Disney Plus Marvel shows this year. I wasn't too crazy about Moon Knight, wasn't too crazy about Ms. Marvel, wasn't too crazy about She-Hulk. Well, definitely wasn't crazy about She-Hulk. I really didn't like She-Hulk. But I did like Werewolf by Night. That was the one I was excited about. I was actually really excited to do a Werewolf by Night pack. But the rest of them, I don't know. I was kind of like, I can kind of go without these shows. Don't really want to do packs on them. But I still wanted to kind of continue the series. I want to keep going with the 2023 shows and specials and stuff like that come out that year. I know like the first show Marvel show that'll come out in 2023, I believe, is Secret Invasion, and I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch. I think that'll be a great show. Cannot wait to make a video on that. But again, it's gonna be like a solid year from now before I make another video in this like Marvel DLC pack Disney Plus show series, considering I have to wait a year to get all the shows and then see them. So this will probably be like the last part of this video series for a while, I'm thinking, at least on the Marvel Disney Plus show side. And that's what I'm kind of a little worried about. I mean, I have other ideas to kind of fill in some more stuff for this series. Like I have a lot of ideas, but I feel like it'll be kind of weird just to like wait a year. Like literally probably longer than a year actually, because there's probably gonna be more shows in like December and stuff like that of next year of 2023, and then like make another video, make another entry. It's just gonna be weird. So just wanted to let you all know that that's basically how it's gonna be happening. Sort of is gonna be like a year from now basically, until I make another one of these kind of Marvel videos. And once Black Panther comes out and I make that video for all the Phase 4 movies, same thing goes for that. It's gonna be probably another long while until I get to the next Marvel Infinity Saga piece, because we kind of caught up with everything. We got all the stuff out of the way, basically. But again, there's still more videos that I want to make for this series that'll kind of fill in some more empty spaces along the way and throughout the years. And again, I have tons of ideas, so we're definitely not lacking on any ideas for this series. Just a matter of like the Marvel side. It might be a little while. So I just want to let you all know that before I close this video out here. But anyways, if you enjoyed that video, do the coming stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.